Hi. Welcome to Lala's Formative One. And I will be talking about three ways to do quadrat sempurna, which is pemfactoran, quadrat sempurna, and rumus ABC. Okay, so the quadratic equation we'll be using today is x squared plus 3x minus 28, which is equals to 0. One thing about this equation is that the quadratic equation can't be a quadratic equation if it isn't equals to 0. It has to always be equals to 0. If, example, there's a situation, oh, this a quadratic equation is equals to maybe like um 28. We need to move it to the other side and change the sign though. Because when we move things to the other side, it always changes to the opposite side. And the second characteristics of the quadratic equation is that a over here is never equals to 0. It will be shown on the next slide. As you can see here, the bentuk umum of the quadratic equation is a x squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. A here is never equals to 0, right? So A is equals to 1. If it isn't shown what digit it is, then it is always equals to 1, but never equals to 0. And there are also two characteristics. You see here, there's X. So this A and B is termasuk as coefficient. So coefficient means they have variables. As you shown here, they have actually. And the C does not have a variable because it's a constant. It only has numbers. It doesn't have the letters. I'm sorry, wait. This is my third recording, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, so what is 1 multiplied is equals to negative 28, but when added is equals to 3. So basically, as you might ask, where did you get negative 28 and 3? Well, it's actually from the formula here. As you can see, P times Q is equals to A times C, while P plus Q is equals to B. Okay, so as you can see here, B is equals to 3, right? So we put it under here. We put it over here. And A multiplied by C. 1 multiplied by negative 28 is equals to negative 28 because when you multiply a positive and a negative, it's equals to negative. Same as here. Because, I think I misspelled my mouse. Okay. So because the hasil over here is negative, means one of the variables here is negative also. You must always remember that when the hasil is negative, one of the variables are negative. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so to find what the two variables would be, we need to find the multiples. The right multiples here, as I already stated here actually, is 7 and 4. That's because, to be honest, we need to double check with 3 multiple, second multiple, the value, the 3. It has to be when you add them together is always has to be equals to 3. So 7 plus negative 4 is the same as 7 minus 4. So 7 minus 4 is equals to 3. It can't be the opposite, it can't be negative. 7 plus 4 equals to 3 because the real result would be negative 3. We need to remember sign is important. Okay, so we take both the digits found and then we put them into brackets. So we already used B and C, right, over here. We already used them. Now it's time to use A or x squared. We separate them into two brackets. So it's x and x. Then we add the two variables that we have found inside of them. Can you get that? Okay, so as you can see, we put each variable in each bracket. So x plus 7 and x minus 4. The next step here, as you can see from the instructions that are given in the PPT, is find the x. To find the x, we need to make it single. Single like you. I'm joking. I'm sorry, sorry. Okay, so x plus 7 is equals to 0 because we need to move this to the other side to make the x single. X plus 7 equals to 0, right? When we move it to the other side, it changes signs. From positive, it changes to the opposite side, which is negative. So x plus 7 equals to 0. When we move it to the other side, it's equals to x equals to negative 7. It also works the same with the opposite signs. When you have negative, when you move it to the other side, it's equals to positive. Positive means x is equals to 4. Positive 4. Please do not mind this. This is only to separate both of them. Okay, now we will be talking about quadrat sempurna. So quadrat sempurna. We will be using the same equation for all three of them to make it easier. So step one is we always have to make the a equals to 1. You can see here I said an x, right? To be honest, it's a bit the same because like what I meant is that this x is equals to 1, which means the front here is like it has no digit at all because a here is equals to 1. This is why I actually chose this equation specifically for quadrat sempurna because to make it easier and not complicated for you and me, we need to find an equation that is the a is equals to 1. So since a is equals to 1 already, step 1 we can skip over. But please remember step 1 because step 1 is one of the most important steps of all. Because if you forget step 1, then you're gonna get it wrong in everything actually. Like even until the end, until the answer will be wrong. Now step 2. Separate the coefficients which means the one with variables, from the constanta, which is the one without variables. When we move it on the other side, it changes signs. So from negative 28 is equals to 28. So now our equation is x squared plus 3x equals 28. If you are thirsty, please take a drink. I know this is difficult because quadrat sempurna is actually very long and difficult. X squared plus 3x minus 28 equals to 0. Okay, so this is still the equation. I'm sorry. I mean, like, this is still the beginning of the equation. But the current equation we're going to use is this one. X squared plus 3x equals to 28. So let us continue. Step 3. Take the b from the equation, then divide it by 2. Then square it before putting it on both sides. This might be a little bit confused to you, but it's actually pretty simple. So you see here 3, you divide it by 2. then you square it. So basically 2 divided by 3 is equals to 3 over 2. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be 3 divided by 2, but then like I think I accidentally switch it, but then yeah. So um we add a new variable, which is plus. Then we add this 3 over 2. Then as you can see here, it says square it. So we have to square it. When we affect one side of the equation, it affects the other side. Doesn't mean for everything. It's just if it like example, you're adding a variable. You that's like isn't part of the equation before. It means you need to put on both sides so it stays stable. I think that's all I needed to explain for this slide. Step 4. Simplify the variables on the left and multiply the squared multiple on the left. I'm sorry, this is actually a typo. It's the right side. Simplify the squared variables on the right side. As you can see over here, is equals to x plus 3 over 2 squared. Well, you might ask, this might be confusing. Where does the 3x go? Well, ignore it. It goes away. Shoo shoo. It's going on a break. To be honest, it's never coming back. Oh, wait, let me put it properly. Okay. So as you can see here, x plus 3 over 2 quadrat. Because both of these are quadratic and not quadratic. It's squared, right? Well, we need to combine those to make it into one square, one huge square. So it's x plus 3 over 2 squared now. And as you can see on the other side, it doesn't have a second squared variable, right? So we just multiply it. 3 times 3 over 2 times 3 over 2, right? I'm gonna see if I can actually like write it. Okay, so okay, never mind, it's ugly. I will delete it. Okay, I will not use pencil because I suck at using it. So if you can imagine it, it's 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. You multiply both of the numerators and the denominators together. It's not cross multiplication. It's literally just multiplication because like both of them has the same decimal. Yeah. So it's like 3 times 3 is equals to 9, right? And 2 times 2 is equals to 4. So remember, numerator multiplied by numerator, denominator multiplied by denominator. Please do not be confused. 3 and 3 is a numerator, and 2 and 2 is the denominator. So 3 times 3, which is the numerator, is equals to 9. And 2 times 2, which is the denominators, is equals to 4. So you might be confused here. Well, actually, I kind of forgot to put it there, but then please do not be confused because when we multiply this over 1, when we add them, we have to make 28 equals to a fraction, right? The basic fraction when you want to put a whole number is 28 over 1. 28 over 1 plus 9 over 4, right? It's not stable because it's the denominators are 1 and 4. So basically we need to turn 1 is equals to 4. So we multiply actually both. Um, to be honest, this might be really complicated for you, so I will put it here. Uh, where am I? Wait, yeah. Okay, over 1, and then copy, use 4, and dun, 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 dun. Let me full screen now. We saw. Okay, so as you can see here, 28 times 4 and 1 times 4. So now that one that the denominator is equals to 4, of course, the numerator is multiplied by 4 too. 28 times 4 is equals to 112. Plus 9 is equals to 121 over 4. Okay, as you can see here, I explained everything. Yes. Step 5. Square root both sides to remove the square from the left side. So basically, when you want to remove a square from a variable, you need to square root it, but it actually affects both sides. That's one of the detours. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it doesn't actually. So we need to remove the square here, right? So we put square roots in both sides. Then so like cancel out the square root and the square here, which leaves us to x plus 3 over 2 is equals to plus minus square root of 121 over 4. Now, both of these can be, it has its own root because when square is when a multiple is multiplied to the same multiple, right? So 2 times 2 is equals to 4, right? So the square root of 4 is equals to 2. And 11 times 11 is equals to 121, which means that it also has a square root, right? I mean, a square. Means that you immediately simplify it to 11 over. Now, the last step, which is step 6, separate the plus minus individually, then find the x. Now, at the end of the last step, we always um, divide it to 2, which is x1 and x2, which is it can be minus plus or plus minus. Pokoknya, this plus minus means there are two answers. One with positive and one with negative. That could be like a possibility of the real answer. So we need to divide it by 2. Divided by 2, I mean like two answers. Not divided by 2, like divide, like literally divide. Okay, so step 6, separate the plus and minus individually, then find the x. So x here, x1 equals to x plus 3 over 2 minus 11 over 2. Both of these denominators are 2, so we don't need to multiply anything. Um, so x, when we move it to the other side, positive 3 over 2 is equals to negative, right? Now, 11 is negative, and 3 and 2 is also negative. Negative and negative equals to positive. So negative and negative make it into cross. Wow, like that. So x equals to 11 over 2 plus 3 over 2, which is equals to 14 over 2, as you can as stated here. Now, 14 over 2 can be divided because 14 can be divided by 2. So the one of the possible answers of the quadrat sempurna is equals to 7. Negative 7. It's 7. Wait, I wrote this in negative. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's 14 over 2 equals to 7. Now, x2 is the opposite now because this first one is equals to negative, right? So as you can see, it's plus, as you can see, it's plus minus. Now that we have gotten rid of the minus, the only thing left is the plus, right? So it's positive. So the x2 is equals to positive 11 over 2. So the equation here is x plus 3 over 2 equals to 11, positive 11 over 2. Now, when we move it to the other side, it turns into negative, right? So positive 11 over 2 minus 3 over 2. 11 minus 3 is equals to 8. 8 over 2 can be divided. So 8 over 2 is equals to 4. Now we will be going over rumus ABC. Rumus ABC. It's actually one of the easiest um way to make the persamaan quadrat other than pemfactoran. So as you can see here, we actually need to memorize this formula. X 1 over 2 equals to mean b plus minus square root of 4 2 minus 4ac over 2a. So please remember this. It can be in your own strategies. In my strategy is that to be honest, b squared minus 4ac is actually the formula of discriminant, which is d. Ada. Um, so mean b plus minus over b squared minus 4ac. It's basically like if you want to make it easier, you need to make it like a rhyme. I don't know why. It's like when you remember how to make the puncak titik and then they show you like min berdua di empatan. Like that. Yeah, kind of. But then I don't know how I memorized it. Maybe because like most of the formulas are actually like really similar. Okay, so I didn't put the formula shown again on the other side, so please take notes. Okay, so this is gonna be the same equation. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 3, is equals to negative 28. Um, Basically, you need to substitute it. B is equals to 3, right? So minus 3, and then B square, which is 3, so 3 square, and then 4 times A, which is 1, and times C, which is negative 28, over 2 times A, which is 2 times 1, because A is equals to 1. Substitute it like using it as a formula, basically, because it is actually a formula. Um, Please do not be confused. Just look at this. Look at this. Yeah. Okay. So the second thing we need to do is expand it. As you can see here, 3 times 3 square is equals to 9. So this is 9 minus 4 times 1 is equals to 4 times negative 28 which is equals to um negative 112 actually, because but oh it yeah, it is actually negative, but then it would become positive either way because minus and minus over here would be equals to addition, because negative with negative is equals to positive. So I actually forgot what negative 4. So as you can see here, this is actually equal with 4, right? So it's negative 4 multiplied by negative 28, which is equals to positive 112. 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 times 1 is equals to, well, actually, when you put it together, 9 minus um 112, not minus, we have plus. So 9 plus 112 is equals to 121, because 112 plus 3 is equals to 121. So I think 20, 12, basically 2, 12 plus 3, 1. What is 121 again? 100, oh, 112 plus 9. 112 plus 9. So 12 plus 9. This is only 8, right? 1 again. So it's equals to 21 again. Yeah. Step 3, solve for x1 and x2. Basically, using to separate this, it's plus minus, right? Like we did in the quadrat sempurna, we piece out the negative and the positive. So I put the positive in x1 and negative in x2. If you put it terbalik, it's actually like gonna be the same, so you don't need to worry at all. The answer is still gonna be the same. The fun thing is it's the same digits. So x1 is equals to negative 3 plus 11 over 2. The over 2 is in with both of them, remember. So you literally just need to fix this one. So negative 3 plus 11 is basically 11 minus 3. 11 minus 3 is equals to 8. 8 divided by 2 can, is possible. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So x1 is equals to 4. While x2 is negative 3 minus 11 over 2. Remember, it's over by both of them. So basically, negative 3 minus 11, which is negative 14 over 2, which is equals to negative 7. So the final answer for rumus ABC is positive 4 and negative 7. Did you catch up? Please watch the video again if you did not. Great job if you get all of this. I hope my explanation was clear. See you in the next video. Good night.